Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew, this side of Will Riker's pennant for saying things we're all thinking. It's true. Rear Admiral Eric is not here tonight. I was about to say his name. His power went out. I think like an EPS relay blew about half an hour before the show started. So we're thinking about you, buddy. Sorry.
I think he needs to inverse the manifold or something.
Something like that, or like needs to bang on it with a
percussive engineering.
Yeah, something.
Redirect.
Yeah. Yep. So he will be back hopefully next week. There's crazy storms everywhere. You're getting snowed on right now, right, MC?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Hawk, you too?
It stopped here. I think it's going to start back up with some freezing rain tonight. Yay.
Fun times. So yeah, Rear Admiral Eric is not here tonight. I know that he would want to press all of the Titans' shiny little buttons, though.
Oh my
God,
yes.
He would. Commander Hawk, you're here, and I think I just really want to hear you say in Jean-Luc's voice, "Who's your daddy?"
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Captain Giraffe is back. She's back. Welcome back.
Yay.
Captain Giraffe is back, and I think you're just gonna go on eBay and bid on that decapitated Romulan head because you know,
oh my God.
You would, right? You would.
So much.
You would.
I think it's a tradition in Picard now to have like just beheaded Romulans around. I'm like,
Yep.
We've suffered enough. That's enough.
And finally, Lieutenant Commander MC is here literally just off of an airplane or a shuttlecraft. The shuttlecraft.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
But your time is finally here. On board the shuttlecraft Savick. Cue Giraffe's eye roll. No eye roll.
You can publish the text that I sent you.
I will. Okay, I will. Sounds good.
When I saw it.
I think you're also now the official supplier of ship teas, MC.
I might be.
Yeah, the underground ship tea supplier. So, welcome guys. How we doing tonight? Good,
yeah.
We're good. We're here. We're online.
Good.
It's
Cassie is here. Her internet is actually cooperating, which I know has always been a struggle. So gonna watch live, which is a miracle. Welcome. Davey from Trexperts is here, dropping in literally as the end credits roll on episode 2. So wow, we're gonna have a great show tonight. Speaking of this week, what happens when the Titan comes face to face with Amanda Plummer's Vadic? She's so love her. And her shrimp. It's the USS Shrimp. Her ship, the Shrike. How deep undercover is Rafi willing to get when she goes face to face with a dangerous Ferengi broker? Who is Jack Crusher to Vadic? And what about that revelation? That big one. We're going to break it all down. But first, Hawk, please, good sir, say thank you to our Patriot Collective members at the Ready Room level and above.
So thank you to Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kang Wee, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernando Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davidson, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Jess Coe, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Cassie, the Canadian is French, Maggie Light, Picard, Wayne Ritz, Skonavark, Sean, Jay Howard, Mahalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Cassie McIntosh, David Willett, Tara Pollen, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, and our newest collective member, Alex Sharkey.
Yay!
Thank you.
Hey, welcome, Alex.
Welcome. I think he was our new collective member last week too, but he gets the double dose because I forgot to take the new member part out. So congrats on your second week of being a brand new member.
Well, it's the first time for me, so
yeah, there you go.
That's what really
important.
counts.
That's what
It's still
really
got that
counts.
new membership smell.
It does. This is going to be fun because, as you know, Eric could not be here tonight. And so that means I had to scramble and get everything going for the live show, which means I forgot to hit record on my mixer, which means I'll have some fun splicing to do tomorrow. It's what I do. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So some quick news. Save the date because we are going to have our next Patron Collective happy hour on March 9th. I think people have been having fun doing them post-show, but I'm also fine doing the pre-show happy hour and having a little bit of drunk Julian do the show. So we
Why
can put
not both?
or why not both? We could do a poll on the Patreon channel. So stay tuned for that. But that is happening March 9th. We will stay true to the calendar, promise. The table read. I know that we keep talking about the table read.
Where's the table read, Julian?
Well, I actually first need to get the script, and that needs to materialize from someone very important. So
Yes.
that is still happening, but with Picard Week and life happening to a bunch of us, we just have not had the time. It is going to happen. I want to schedule it. My birthday is next month. It'd be really fun to do that around my birthday. So maybe mid-March, we're going to do the table read. Stay tuned. And then I'm going to, if you haven't seen these yet, if you've been living under a rock today, these came today. Our pins, our yearly patron collective member pins, and a few of you, the first batch went out this afternoon. So people are going to start getting those soon. Yeah, that's it. Does anybody else have news before?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit it.
More news. So I know we're supposed to have the trivia this weekend, but I cannot because it's my anniversary. So, I have to
love comes
not do the
first.
trivia.
She would do anything for love, but she won't do trivia.
Well, no, that's the problem is that if there's trivia, I'm going to do trivia and then I'm going to have problem. So, we made a choice that we're going to push the trivia to the first weekend of March. So we'll have 2 March trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Fun. Okay.
Huh?
No, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, and I put a poll, same thing, if people prefer Saturday night or Sunday night. I mean,
Nice.
night.
Cool. Good stuff.
Late afternoons. And one more thing.
No, not allowed. Sorry.
One more? Come on.
One more, sir, please.
All right, hit it. Go ahead.
We will be back with the archaeology and paleontology in Star Trek panel updated with new pieces of Lower Decks at WonderCon in Anaheim, Saturday, 25th of March. If you're around, come say hi.
Nice. Can't wait for that. And I believe you're working on getting a panel for big San Diego Comic-Con too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that will be another topic. But
Well, I guess speaking of, we should really start plugging away that we will be, I don't know, Hawk, your status yet, but me, Giraffe, and MC, and I think Eric has talked about going, we'll be at Trek Long Island. We will be on, we think we'll be on 3 panels. We're hosting
3 panels.
2 panels,
yes.
and we're on another one with all the podcasts. Go to Trek Long Island. We're going to be there. Come have fun, do drinks, get drunk, sing Faith of the Heart. It's going to be a blast. And it's like 30 minutes from my house. My dad's house, not my house.
Mine too.
No. Okay. Is that it? Are we good on news? Good?
Think so,
Good?
I think so.
Good. All right. Well, I believe it's Strange New Loop time. And I believe that there's already some discourse about this one, from what I understand, with some drop-offs at the airport, which I like.
God.
That means that you guys read the outline.
No, I did not, but she did. So she talked about it in the car.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
I think I've done worse than usual. I think I have not even opened the document this time. Usually I open the document and I'm like, I've opened it. It's somewhere.
Oh,
But
son of a bitch. I love it.
I'm the friend that Giraffe copies off of.
I mean,
yes.
that's actually why we brought you on, MC, so she could copy off of you. Oh, God. Oh, here we go. If you were Captain Shaw, or just the captain of the Titan in the situation that they currently find themselves in, being a hotel, would you have considered turning Jack Crusher in? And YouTube Collective, let us know as well. Who wants to go first? I know that you two have your thoughts and theories, so, I mean, go
Well,
ahead.
it's Hawk first, no?
No, for the Stranger Loop, it's anyone but Hawk. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Hawk, go first. Then
Yeah.
see, I know the.
There's no order for the Stranger Loop. You're making things up.
It's-
Yeah.
I mean, I would consider it. You got to consider all your options, but
It's
at
not
the
very
end,
Starfleet of you.
it's not very Starfleet. No, but this is a no-win situation outside of Federation space. So, rules of space and that, don't really, so but yeah, I would have at least considered it in that, but ultimately no. Turning over like this kid you just met to a obvious psychopath, not in the cards, especially if you have an ounce of integrity in that uniform.
That's the thing that really like triggered me, disturbed me, is that he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna send him, but then he's like, oh, he's your son, okay, we're keeping him. Oh, sorry. There's like a categorization of like a level of different people that can be given and not given. Like, no, I'm not giving anybody to people I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, no, if somebody comes and like, it's like, oh, we're the police and Giraffe sent us, this is a lie. I have not done that. And the other thing that we're talking about, I wanted to ask the legal geeks, because usually if you have a citizen of your state and another state is asking for them to be delivered because they committed a crime, like there are like a lot of different arrangements, and they don't even ask her, are you working, are you a representative of like, I don't know, the Roman Republic, I don't know, like the Cardassians. I don't know what they're doing at that
Where's
moment.
the arrest warrant?
Where's the arrest warrant? Like, who are you? And so, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm not giving anybody to randos in space for no obvious reasons, Nah, I'm not even considering it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not happening at all.
I mean, I'm not saying you let him go. Like, he obviously committed crimes, but he's committed crimes in Federation space. Like, you can keep him, like, don't just give him over to whoever, this person is who's just like, I'm very terrifying and I insist on having this person. It's like, no, he's committed crimes in Federation space. He's a Federation citizen. He's going to face our justice. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, you still got to consider, the situation. It's outside Federation space, and they are heavily outgunned, and you have 500 people whose lives you're considering.
But once you beam aboard a Federation starship, doesn't that automatically make you that you are already under the Federation's protection because that's in the Prime Directive?
Absolutely. And I'm like a foreign person, and I'm like, if I enter the French embassy and I ask for, help or asylum, like I hope they're not gonna give me up.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you up, let you down. Like,
I want to know what the hell is going on.
But if like it's the United States asking for me to be like given to the authority because they have an arrest warrant and they're like the thing, and like there's gonna be a review. You can like any person showing up to an official state, an official government place, and asking for a citizen. I mean, even now, that's not something that happened. I mean, they could not. A bounty hunter could not come to the French embassy and say,
"No, you need to have.
Want Giraffe,
you need to have an arrest warrant. You need to have an arrest warrant.
Even you need like a state behind you.
You do.
Need like official like reason.
Interpol needs to get into that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not via a captain. It's like via the actual government of the Federation. It's not just like Shaw to make this decision.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. And the only reason they have any idea who Vadic is because, Seven was just like, yeah, this ship is a ghost. It's rumor. Like, why would you give somebody over to this person? Just like, no.
I want to read a new viewer, new watcher, Aris. I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm so sorry, Aris Benjian. 100% not cool to make an exception or preferential treatment for your newly discovered son. Yes, but no. It doesn't matter if he's his newly discovered son or not, because like we just said, the minute that he beams aboard that ship, he's under the Federation's protection. So it's not preferential treatment.
And Picard never wanted to give him up.
No, not
Shaw
in the first place.
was the one considering it, which is wrong, dude. Even
I think Shaw deciding to like not give him over when he found out he was Picard's son had nothing to do with preferential treatment, and more the fact that he didn't want to go up against Picard. Like,
well, yeah,
that's a dangerous guy.
I mean, look at the way that crew listened to him immediately when he said belay that admiral's order. Even though he's retired, he actually doesn't have any authority on that bridge. But that crew still knows exactly who that is and respects the hell out of that man. And you're gonna listen to Jean-Luc.
I mean,
I know.
it's kind of fucked up, though.
It is.
There's a lot of.
But how many times has an admiral pulled that bullshit on a starship in Star Trek? Like all the goddamn time. So I mean, it's nothing new. So
Everybody has like weird reaction to everything that's going on. To be honest,
no, it's
like,
true.
It just
Yeah. Yeah.
Really like.
Well, we're still
You know?
we're still not that far removed from Starfleet's paranoia with everything that's happened in the past 20 years too. So they're a lot more quick to the trigger, a lot more to let's not listen to the Prime Directive and maybe get this person away from us so we don't get blown up. I think people within Starfleet are getting tired of being blown up and killed. So I don't know.
But I know we're going like way far, but like we're literally in a moment where we know the Section 31. Like Shaw should be considering that Jack Crusher may be an
Shaw should be
agent.
considering a lot of things. Yeah.
Like he should be considering that he's a Federation citizen that is working for a medical organization that is well known, by the way, which is an official medical organization, like Doctor Without Border, kind of.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that it doesn't know like who is that other person, and even if he's outside of Federation boundaries, like frontiers, he's still like this is still the Federation inside of the ship. So I'm sure the legal geeks are gonna go.
I can't wait to hear that if they do. I can't wait to hear. Haven's asking me if I'm saying that Jean-Luc is a bad admiral. Which I'm saying no. I'm just saying he's being an admiral using his authority, which admirals do on starships all the time. Go ahead.
I think that if he weren't the main character, he would be the Badmiral. But it's just,
True. Yeah. I'm gonna read some comments on YouTube here real quick. Let's see. Haven goes, strangely, I would have turned Jack in as soon as he beamed on board the Titan. Okay.
Oh, Haven.
Wow. Haven. Did not expect that one from you.
The quality of mercy is not Haven.
No.
Right?
Colin, I might have considered it since I have numerous crew to protect. On the other hand, a nasty villain is never one you want to surrender to. Very true. Let's see. Admiral Funnest Frontier, you turn Jack over, you're dead anyway. Very true. And never trust bounty hunters. Yeah. All good points. All good points.
And there's most probably laws in place, by the way.
But no, I would. If I was captain of that ship, I would never consider turning him over. Because
May I also mention we don't know why she wants Jack?
No, we have no idea. She's rocking a big freaking ship, and bounty hunters don't have good ships. Look at the rickety old thing that Din Djarin was flying around in the Mandalorian season thing. I mean, we love that ship.
But even like in the Mandalorian, he works for people.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you're wanted for like on this planet by this government. And it's just like I want him for reasons.
Yeah.
That's all. And
Show me
then
the
if
warrant.
you don't, I blow you. I blow you up. Like no.
Show me the warrant. This is a good strange new loop. I can keep talking about this for like another hour. Unfortunately, we do
got
have
more to talk about.
We have more to talk about. That's not unfortunate. That's very fortunate. That's why you guys keep coming back. So let's talk about it. It is our review of episode 302 of Star Trek Picard, Disengage. Our order tonight will go Hawk, Giraffe, MC, followed by myself. The season's been really cool so far with cold opens. And early on in that cold open this week, we learned that Jack and Bev had started being hunted, right? Romulans, Klingons. Oh, no, sorry, not Romulans. Klingons, the Federation.
The Romulans are like hunting no shit.
Romulans,
Like,
Romulans don't give a
like
shit.
Trying to find a place.
Yeah.
They're hunting apartments at that moment.
Dude, you're not wrong. So they've been hunted by just about everyone after an attempt to deliver medical supplies. So that it's already shady as hell. Like, this isn't about medical supplies. This isn't about Doctors Without Borders. What did we think about that brief look that we got into Jack and his charisma, like trying to, work over these Fenris Rangers who boarded the ship to do the inspection? I thought this was a pretty cool scene. Hawk.
I like the scene. I like the introduction to Jack and that, it's like putting aside what we know about Jack at the end of the episode.
Right.
And, it's like, we know he's Beverly's son. And again, like you said, he's charismatic in that. He's obviously trying to do a good thing in that, but he has a lot of red tape and loopholes to jump through, and he does it, in that kind of assertive, adventurous manner. He knows the language to speak. He knows what they really want, and which is weapons, obviously, which is a little shady and given the medical practice, but
I get it though, right? Like
Yeah.
you're going into
Oh,
all
yeah.
these different locations and you're not
Mhm.
always going to have the paperwork. You're going to have a few crates of phaser rifles to trade off.
yeah, you kind of need
Even
to.
with the paperwork, I mean,
Mhm. Yeah, true. But first impressions, you just can't help but like the guy.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mhm.
There are a lot of like Easter eggs in that scene that like, do we do the Easter eggs at the end?
We're
What
going
we
to do Easter eggs, but if you want to mention them now, I'm not going to
No,
stop
because
you.
like they're interesting, like because like they're part of the Mariposa organization, which was
Mhm.
created by Teresa and Rios, right? So they're like literally an organization that is well known to the Fenris Ranger because in the second season, what's her name?
Seven.
Seven is carrying Mariposa's crate,
Yep.
right? So it just like for me, I was like, but like these guys, and they're really something like Doctors Without Border,
Mm.
like which like usually people are like kind of like dealing with them because they know that they're bringing stuff and
Yeah.
it's for the good, the good of
The
like most
greater
people.
good. The greater
The
good.
greater good, yeah, let's say like that. But I really like the fact that like there's this wall thing going on in Star Trek. I find it super cool. So I really love the cold open that there's these like kind of like para-governmental organization doing like things because they most probably have tied to the Federation, let's be honest, like most
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Where's the money coming from?
Well, given the supply crates looked all Federation,
yeah,
A lot of them
absolutely.
looked Federation. I think
Yeah.
I think some of the crates were Fenris Ranger crates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Romulan ale is a good antiseptic.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Was that your thoughts on this, or Hawk? Were you done? Because
I'm all done.
You're good. So was that all you wanted to say, Jeff? Are you good? You're
I
good.
liked it.
MC.
I enjoyed it. I'm very curious to know about Jack's upbringing, because this does not seem like the type of kid that Bev would raise. Granted, he does say later on, how many of your friends do you still know? But I mean, Wesley, Jack, like these are two very, very differently raised children.
Yeah.
He's roguish. I was getting a little bit of Q, essence of Q from him, which I enjoyed.
Yes.
It's the French. It's
It
the
is.
Mon
Mon
ami.
ami.
It's Mon ami.
Mon
Yeah.
ami.
We're practically saints. I love that line.
Yeah. So I'm very interested, not so much in him. I'm interested to know how Bev got here. So
I mean, I think we see a little bit of that right at the beginning of episode 1.
Yeah.
That she is not afraid to freaking use the overkill setting on a phaser rifle. This is definitely a
makes
different
sense.
Bev. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Mhm.
You work like for like like a governmental organization with so many limits, let's be honest, and rules, and then you go and like write. Thank you, Michael. NGO. That was the word I was I was looking for, because you're more free to actually do the thing that needs to be done. But I'm gonna call one bullshit because I'm a daughter of 2 Doctors Without Borders, and I'm gonna tell you that one thing I would never do is that job. So I'm just like putting that out.
I will say that Bev and Jean-Luc are very similar in their righteousness. And I could really see that Beverly getting frustrated around the same exact time Jean-Luc retired and got frustrated and done with the Federation and did do the NGO thing, did do the Doctors Without Borders, and had to, I don't want to say grow a spine because Bev's always been a badass, but she had to take that even further, right?
And it matches the time of the Romulan refugee crisis.
Yes, exactly.
Which,
Yeah.
like they would have needed like so many doctors and so many supply to just like read Second Self. Again,
Read
very
Second
good
Self.
book
Yes.
that like touches onto it. And like when you have massive refugees crises like this with people moving, that's where like doctors go and work for these kind of NGOs. Like it totally makes sense.
And remember in episode 1, Seven goes, when Jean-Luc was talking about Bev, Seven was like, I know who she is. I guarantee you they crossed paths once or twice working with the Fenris Rangers. Like they had
Ooh.
to have.
And the Mariposa, yeah.
I want that. I want that story.
Right? Write it, MC. Write it.
Will somebody pay me to do it?
No, sorry.
I'll
Who's
probably
getting
still do
paid
it.
to
Who's
do
getting
anything here?
paid? Oh man. Oh, that's a funny story that we can't tell yet, but one day we will. Oh boy. I liked the cold open. I really liked getting to see Jack in his element because you could clearly tell he's done this like multiple times. It was really cool. I liked his whole attitude towards the guys. He knew exactly what buttons to press. Let's move into the present because that was a couple of weeks ago. We see the Shrike. It reveals herself to Jean-Luc, Will, and Jack. And after a very reluctant rescue, very reluctant, from Shaw and Titan, Vadic, played by the brilliantly amazing, I could say all of the adjectives about Amanda Plummer, she reveals and introduces herself, gives intent to claim the bounty. I say that in quotes because it's not a bounty, right? On Jack's head, and then shows Titan just how much she's packing, which is a lot. Like almost as much as Shinzon's what was the name of his ship? The this is gonna kill me.
It was a bird. It was like a bird, right?
Scimitar.
The scimitar.
Almost as much as, it's not quite as powerful as the scimitar.
Yeah, I don't know anything. Not even the Roman ships. I don't know that.
No. So she does this awesomely badass move and is like, just so you know, I'm not gonna do anything quite badly enough, but I'm gonna throw this starship at you, which I know your shields are gonna mostly deflect, but don't fuck with me. Which is just a freaking amazing scene. What did we think about Vadic and Amanda Plummer and this her whole energy in this scene?
It was a great introduction to a new villain in that, because like she plays it so down, you know, it's like,
Yes.
no harsh words in that, she's, but immediately, as soon as she begins picking them off and that, it's like Captain Shaw and that, and brings up as apparently he has some sort of a compromised like psychological profile.
Said he's having a really nice morning up until she showed up.
Yeah. But yeah, I love like when she does, this is a kind of a thing for Amanda Plummer, and that is like that, playing like a villainous character soft, very softly spoken in that, but the intent is there,
I love you, honey bunny.
Exactly. Not to keep bringing up Hannibal, but she did a one-off episode in that, and it was kind of like a very similar performance, a nuanced kind of a villain in it. And this, so which makes her like kind of the perfect choice for you to play this villain, because we've got like kind of an introduction to her, but we still don't like quite know that much about her at this point. She obviously knows everything about them and what's going on. But we still don't know. I don't even know if she's the big bad, like really,
right?
For this season,
yeah. Just so there's no confusion, because there's some confusion in the comments. It was not a shuttlecraft that Vadic threw. It was Bev's ship, the Elios, that she just chucked at the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Draft.
So, I have a theory, and no, it's not bunnies.
Damn it!
I know now. But like I was saying when I was discussing with, I don't remember if it was with MC or you, Julian, that Vadic is like not is like a cartoon character, kind of like a cartoon villain. Like she's just too much. She's just too villain, like and then I was rewatching just like before the podcast, and I was like, she makes me think of a holodeck villain, and we know that Moriarty is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, she makes me think of like a Moriarty kind of villain, like too much of a like not a literary villain, but like a calculator.
Yeah.
And and then I was like, she knows a lot of stuff. Like how, how does she has like all this information? And I rewatched the scene, and I was like, it's like it comes up to her, and it's not like she's just like, oh, you're Captain Shaw. Like she's like, searching a data bank or something at the same time. And then I was like, okay, is it possible that there's a new like holodeck villain, but outside of a holodeck? Like, is that a thing? And so I went on Memory Alpha because I'm that kind of a nerd. And apparently there's an episode in TNG where like a character like came out of the ship, like was created or something like that. Apparently it's called Emergence. I have no idea what it is. Like, I just looked it up and I don't remember that episode at all. But I'm like, is she actually human? Is she actually like a real person, or is she like a made up thing? And then you have at the credit in the end, like all like this DNA thing that I thought it was for Jack Crusher, but I was like, is it for Vadic? Is she a made up like ultra violent villain that knows like everything because she has access to stuff? I don't know. I'd like that better than just a normal person who's like so cartoony villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stress-Free K says makes a lot of sense, Trav.
Thank you.
Damn good theory. I like it.
Very good.
I like it a lot.
Somebody, I need to go like again and watch that episode. It's called Emergent. I just like looked it up on
I remember
Alpha.
that episode. I don't remember them actually coming out of the holodeck. You know, it was one of those ones. It's a holodeck episode not where they're trapped inside, but
I made a Google search like character holodeck alive out ship. I don't really know. It's like half-assed theory because I just rewatched it and it just came to me like watching it again. I was like, it's too much. It's too, and then knowing that Moriarty is here, maybe they ask Moriarty to come because like maybe he's the only one that knows how to like defeat another holodeck character. Yeah. But she's outside of the holodeck though.
There's mobile emitters though.
There's
right?
mobile emitters, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, because she's got technology on that ship they can't even identify. Remember, there's something in their cargo bay.
I mean, I play Star Trek Online, so the isolytic weapon. I was like, I know those ones. They're bad. You're not supposed to use them.
Stress-Free K in the chat also suggested that Vadic's bridge might be a holodeck, which certainly Prodigy has shown that they can set up holographic.
Which explains like the weird character she has with her, like the weird,
clicky
like
dudes.
bridge crew, like clicking, and they all look alike.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm onto something.
Nami likes
Nami likes it too.
Thank you, Nami.
Yep. Yep. MC.
So I think I'm somewhere in the middle of really liking her and being unsure. I really like Amanda Plummer's performance. I'm not quite sold on the writing yet because as I was watching it, there was just so much of like the dialogue and the way it was shot that I'm just like, they're really, really trying to go for Nero from 09.
Someone else just said that in the chat too. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the when she's bringing up all of the
weapons,
Jean-Luc Picard,
yeah.
all of that. It's just that's very Hello Christopher, I'm Nero to me. So and there does seem to be a lot of trying to evoke specifically the Star Trek movie big bads. So I'm still trying to. I've only seen one episode with her, so I need to. I'm wary at the moment.
Yeah. We need more.
Oh, they mentioned
data.
that the Titan detected photonic signatures.
Guys,
I'm onto something.
We talked about this in the chat earlier, and I this is off the subject real quick, but MC, you brought up like going for that feel of like the big movie villains. I feel like you have to look at this season as a movie. This is not it's television because it's streaming and it's a television show and it's 10 episodes, but it is a movie. Like this is a long form movie. And I think giving the villain that like, Nero type of vibe is really cool. I love it. I'm gonna steal Jesco's line because it's so good. Where did it go? About the way she talked. Haven wrote that Jesco just posted in Discord. Her lines were so good. You could tell she's like a cat playing with a mouse. She just gives me Nero vibes, but in the best possible way. She gives me her father's vibes in the best possible way. Like, God, is she not Chris Plummer's daughter? Like, holy crap. I really like the Jean-Luc Picard delivery. I think it's just because going back to what Giraffe said, she knows who these people are, and she doesn't just know them because she read a book. Like, she's had shit drilled into her head. She knows all of these people. So,
and not at the moment right away. Like, you see, if you rewatch the scene, because I rewatched it like 5 times after, I was like, there's something weird about this scene. It's like she sees Shaw and just poses, and like he's like, "You're Captain Shaw," and I was like,
well, and the
such
fact,
a weird way to do
and the
it.
fact that she does mention his psych profile, like, is that something that she's pulling up in her head, like a hologram could? Yeah, it's. I like your theory a lot. I love her. I think she's great. I have no qualms about her at all right now. Was there anything in the chat about her? It's going fast. We got we have so many people in the chat
look like
tonight.
the Narada Avo.
You know what? It's smaller though. It's
smaller, but it has advanced technology.
It does. It does.
So, I'm still here like hoping for some Kelvin verse, and now I'll have the cruise with me.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna bleep you out because I'm outnumbered now. What are the scars on her cheeks? I don't know. I don't even know yet, and I've seen a lot more than you guys.
They called her the marked woman.
The marked woman. We're gonna find out at some point. I think probably. Anything else on Jack? We're gonna talk a lot more about Jack later, and Vadic and the Shrike. Good. Rafi. She goes deeper down the rabbit hole. She meets Sneed the Ferengi, and finally her handler Worf. This is just so much fun. Rafi's pissed though. She's furious over the terrorist attack. She feels like she could have stopped it. She contacts her handler again, like, we're gonna talk, like, we gotta find what's going on. He tells her to stand down and disengage, hence the name of this episode, and she's just not having it at all. She knows it's not this idiot Tal Shiar, Romulan Toluco. Rafi's smarter than that. Okay, but
I mean, come on, he's not Tal Shiar, first of all.
No, he was Tal Shiar.
No, he's a revolutionary like cell or something like that.
They referred to him as a trigger man.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to badmouth the Tal Shiar.
Well, at that time,
Get your Romulan factions right.
a totally different business, by the way. So, like,
fair.
like, yeah.
Shit just gets weirder because, of course, Rafi's not going to disengage, so she disobeys orders and goes to her husband, which is like, what is he doing on the shady fucking planet in District 6? Like, he owns a restaurant or a bar? Like,
but he's an artist.
But but like, why there? Like, of all the places, like, you're talking about Rafi's life choices, and like, you live here.
Plot device. It's a plot.
I know. Anyway, owes him or tries to get a favor from him. He's not very receptive. Says basically, you can either get to know your grandkid, or you can do your Federation shit and be done with our family. And which is such a man move and so dick, like, on so many levels.
It's not a man move, it's a jerk move.
It's just a jerk move. It's just a total anyway, -2 points for Rafi's husband. Rafi, being Rafi, goes with the I need to meet with Sneed. So yeah, this kind of brings Rafi's story full circle though, right? Because we see her in season 1 really wanting to get, to know her granddaughter, struggling with it, or granddaughter,
yeah.
And struggles a little bit with it in season 2, even though she's joined Starfleet. This seems just unmendable at this point. Do you like that we kind of get this glimpse back into the Rafi of season 1 who was having the same struggle, Hawk?
I kind of liked it, but again, I didn't like meeting Jay, because that is, it's like, you can't give like a person like Rafi that kind of, decision. It's either this or this. It's like my way or the highway. And I was like, okay, of course she left him. But then again, like, from the little inferences there, and that we know that he was probably into, like, he probably had addiction issues of his own. So, like, I kind of liked that little bit of the story, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't like it all that much. Anyways,
I didn't
Jay.
like. Yeah. Fuck Jay.
It's so weirdly written. Oh, sorry, Hawk. Are you done?
Let's discuss.
It's so poorly written. I don't like that interaction at all. And that's the thing is like Rafi worked so much, to come back to Starfleet and have all this, and and especially when somebody was an addict, it's like hard. It's a lot of work, and that guy is like, he made a choice between your job and your family. No, she does not. First of all, that's dick move. Okay. First of all, they're all like terrible parents. Like, what about Gabe? Like, they're like, I can like put a word for you. It's like, no, that's not your place. He's an adult, like with a family and a baby. He has something else to do than dealing with you two being absolutely insane. Like, again, he's not 5, It's just a weird interaction. Like, who does that? And then I love Rafi, and I feel like she's so great, but like so far the books have been written better than whatever she does in like the series. It's just like,
well, I think she was right in this situation. I thought that she was good, but I thought that Jay was like,
she was right, but like they put her in like weird situation, and then like the thing happens, and she's an agent, and you know that when they tell you to disengage is because maybe there are other agents, maybe there are something else going on. You just don't go and like do things. Like, that's part of your training. That's what because doing that, you may blow up somebody else's covers. You may like put other people in danger. The other things like, oh, there's gonna be one more dead. Oh, that's great handling. And then I was like, oh, it's Worf. I was like, okay. I get it now.
It seemed like such a weird pull for me to bring Jay into it, because like he's referencing like Rafi dropping in on their son's
ambush,
and that happened in season 1, and like it's been what, like 2 years since then at least,
and Rafi's on the up.
It seemed like kind of a forced way to get this storyline going again, and even though we've had so much more of Rafi since then, she's gotten out of this, she's gone through tons of other things that I was like, oh yeah, this was a thing again before. So let's and they're just pulling it back up because they want to create the drama of, is she going to fall back into addiction again while she's deep cover? And I think, of course, this is like why you don't put somebody like Rafi into deep cover where she's got to pretend to be an addict, like they had in episode 1, where it's like, this is why you were chosen for this, and it's like the exact reason you chose her for this seems to be the reason. It's the reason.
The other thing is, like, if she's in deep cover, why does she contact her husband?
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much like secret services have changed since from now to like whenever they are, but like, if you're deep cover, you do not do that. Especially speaking about your kid and your grandkid in the street. I'm like,
I just don't understand. I just don't understand how you could be such a judgmental douchebag, but you happen to have the contact of maybe like the worst gangster on the planet. Like, who are you to be giving your ex-wife parenting advice? Like,
he's a plot device.
I know.
He's put here to like create more like emotional hurdle to Rafi, who again has like to choose between her family and her job. And you're like, first of all, can we stop with the choose between your family and your job? Like, this is like such an antiquated fucking discourse. Like, oh my God. Like, right now, a lot of people would not be telling me, you need to choose between your family and your job. Like, everybody knows that most women do both, Yeah. And she works for Section 31 or like something adjacent. Like, we're not very sure. She has a
I'm pretty sure it's Section 31.
They said Section 31 before. Do you know who wouldn't have put Rafi in this position? Julian Bashir. Just saying.
Oh man. I like this comment above. I from Stress Free K. I hope we see Alexander to give Rafi hope that distant parenting can be repaired, and it can be the thing. Not that Worf was ever Father of the Year, and wasn't
I
even
was like,
close to
can
being
it be?
a good parent, but like they do somewhat mend things in DS9. So like anything is possible. I love Rafi's arc, and we're going to talk about that more in a second. Like I love this arc so far, and I like where this goes later, but this just was this did not work.
I have a question for you though.
Me?
Don't you like her arc? Yeah, because you read Second Self. Because
Well,
I know
that's what I said
like
in the
her
chat.
arc
That's what I said in the
Yeah.
chat. Yes.
because I love the book, and the book gives a lot of like dimension. Because if without the book, I'd be like, what the hell is she doing? Like, what is going on?
Well,
you know?
Go ahead.
I haven't read it, and I still really like Rafi's plot. Like I don't really like the stuff with Jay, but I'm actually finding myself more invested in Rafi investigating this than
The Titan.
with the other
Yeah.
side of the plot.
No,
Yeah.
I think I still would have been invested in this and liked it a lot because I love spy thrillers, and like that's like one of, besides sci-fi, that's like my other jam. So I would have dug it. But I said in the chat, like exactly what you said, Giraffe. I like it even more because I reading that book, Una McCormick's such a great writer. Like I almost felt like I was watching that book. Like I felt that book and I felt what Rafi was doing. So yes, I'm more invested in this because of that book for sure. Let's move on because this gets very good when she does finally meet up with Sneed. Played by why am I going to forget his name? Aaron
Stanford.
Aaron
Stanford from
Stanford.
12 Monkeys and Nikita. Love that man. He's such a good
Yeah.
actor. I just finished 12 Monkeys and might be one of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time.
I'm rewatching
Nice.
it because of you, by the way, because I
Good.
watched it like in 2008. When was
It
that?
was like
show on?
the mid 2020 mid 2010s, like
2015
15,
or something
16,
like that.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
he
don't
played
remember that
he
story.
played Sneed brilliantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely one of like the higher up guys on Metalis Prime. He immediately can smell, even though Jesco rightfully pointed out that he maybe should have heard because of the lobes that she was Section 31. So she actually takes drugs to build her cover from Sneed, so Sneed doesn't kill her because he thinks she's Federation. But Rafi does make a mistake and doubles down that she works for Toluco, and Sneed's like, I wish I had a head. Nope, this is Toluco. Sorry. And Rafi stabs his hand, and I think I'll just combine this into one question because it's all connected. Rafi's handler, who is revealed to be Worf, comes in, the pacifist, swords blazing, and decapitates Sneed. Rescues Rafi. What do we think about this whole encounter with the Ferengi and the splinter drug, which is another 12 Monkeys reference, and obviously
Hey, I thought they were my Easter eggs.
sorry.
We had a deal.
You could read them again in the Easter egg hunt. You got this because you can go through the whole thing. Sorry, I can't stop myself. What do we think about this whole sequence and the Worf reveal, Hawk?
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole episode. And that, yeah, Rafi wouldn't break. You know, she maintain cover.
Yep.
And that. And this is the kind of person that they need when they have to send people into areas like this. You know, it's like deep, seedy underworld. Like, you know, I'll kill you if you look at me wrong kind of places. You know, they sent her in because she knows how to handle. You know, she didn't break the entire time. And it's like he said, well, maybe, you know, I smell Section 31 on you and that, unless, you know, maybe you want to try this. And that. Even then, she was just like, boop.
Which is very Section 31 of her.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
Section 31 will do anything to maintain their cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is why she was chosen, because, you know, she'd been through this, you know, it's like, you know, they knew she had addiction issues, and that if she was ever put in a situation where she was forced to take drugs and that, she'd have a better chance of coping than like sending in some, like, you know, Starfleet fresh out of the academy cadet and that into
Right.
that situation.
Which, you know, they would totally do too, because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Section 31, I mean, they're the dirty end of intelligence, right? You know, where the nasty stuff goes down. So, you know, I love that she doubled down, she didn't break cover and that. But then, you know, obviously it was all for naught, as Sneed, you know, pop something to decapitate a Romulan head. Here's your boss right here. And then that scene with Worf. Oh my God.
Yep.
What a way to bring, you know, it's like, what a way to bring back like a legacy character like him, you know? He's still got, because we've seen him fight, obviously, in the network days, obviously, and I always thought he was a great, fighter in that. But this, it's like the violence.
Somebody
the first
said,
guy, he just impales him through the chest.
Somebody said this is the Worf that I've wanted for 7 seasons of TNG and 3 seasons of DS9. This Worf, Enterprise D, crates beware, like.
So much Klingon on Romulan violence.
But
we were past that.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I made so much out of that line, do not seek blame, do not seek anger. And I was like, oh, this has got to be something that's a quote or something, right? It's from the Bible, it's from this and that. No, it's the way Worf talks and that. A lot like Data and that, he has a problem with contractions too.
Yeah. I always called you Warhawk. You still have Deanna mouth.
Yeah.
That's not going away the rest of the episode.
Nope, sure not. Oh boy.
I love that sequence. It was so good. First of all, I love all the details, like all is that's why, like, again, I'm not convinced about how Rafi is written, because all his security is Romulan, which makes sense. They're like the gun for hire, like they have nothing else to do, right? And she comes in saying she works for Romulan. I'm like, I would not like have chosen that path when I see the room, right? And all the little trinkets, the makeup, the Ferengi makeup is so good. It is so good. Like, they finally look like a species that could be, like the skin and all this. Not like to like say the other makeup in Discovery and so on was bad. It was not. But like, it was so like, I don't know, like perfect. Like, you couldn't see it was prosthetics,
Yeah.
I was mind blown. And then I spent like 15 minutes being like, I know these eyes. There are other eyes.
Other eyes. Really wish you'd stop calling me that.
What?
I really wish you'd stop calling me that.
Other eyes?
I'm quoting the show. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, that was like so good. I'm just like not like, I was like, it was weird that like she would like, I work for Toluca. Like,
I think that she went in. This is how they showed that she should have maybe like taken a second and listened to Worf, because she went in there without a plan, and Toluca was not a good plan.
Yeah. And the fact that they just let her in, like, I'd be like, that's a trap,
Yeah.
Like, they're like, yeah, get in. The other thing that was weird is that he knows Jay, and he had a first wife in Starfleet. Don't tell me he has never seen Rafi's face.
Right.
He's like everywhere. Like, you just like look people up apparently during that time. So you just like, even now you can like see a description of her. So at that point, I'm like, she's blown. Like, from the beginning, I was like, that's going nowhere.
Oh,
girl.
Sneed was fucking with her that entire time. Absolutely. He knew, yeah.
But when he break up the head, I cracked up so much. I was like, oh my God. I love the scene with Worf, like when he enters. I think it would have been better. I didn't like his line at the end. Like, like the camera, where like she's like passed out and he's like, I told you that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
it's so
I would have
Worf,
preferred
though.
like to have like,
Yeah.
No, but I would have preferred to see the scene from Rafi's eyes. Like, she's like passing out, and you see like his face, and then you got the scene, and you're like,
like, sorry to interrupt you real quick. Hawk, you said you made a too big a deal out of the do not seek blame, do not seek anger, but you were right, because Haven did a research, because that's what they do, and a quick Google search says it's a King James Bible translate from 1 Corinthians. So
because I looked that up, I found 13:5 Corinthians, and that it kind of it sounded
yeah.
Oh, well, that
little
kind of
similar,
podcast now.
but it didn't.
Please no.
I don't think it's a straight like word for word.
Right.
I was convinced it was like some Vulcan bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds very Vulcan. Well, yeah.
Anyway, anything else, Giraffe?
No. I just, again, the moment where Rafi texts the drug, read the book.
Read the book.
Will like give a whole dimension to that moment. Like,
Read the book. Yep.
So much bigger, especially with Toluca's head and the Roman around. Like, it's like there's a lot of things to read in that scene if you read the book.
Yep. MC.
Yeah, I thought it was a good scene. I really thought that Aaron Stanford did a really good job as Sneed. And I liked Worf's entrance, but like Giraffe, and this might be affected by the fact that we watched the episode together, that, you
I
know,
was bitching a lot.
I think that it would have been stronger had they not had the last line, if it had just like kind of faded out and everybody's like, I think that's Worf, I think that's Worf. And then they waited till the next week to like confirm it, just given the nice little teaser. And I think the only thing that kind of I'm not too sure about is the actually Rafi having to take the drugs, which I know is like part of her character arc. But from Sneed's point of view, I don't know how much sense it makes, because it's like it feels very Donnie Brasco, you know, like person undercover. The only thing is it's not like she's undercover trying to bust up a drug den. She's undercover trying to find a conspiracy. So there was just a little cognitive dissonance there, where it's like, you're just putting this in because it relates to Rafi's character rather than it actually making any sense to the story that's going on.
I think it was one more thing to show that Sneed absolutely knew who she
Yeah,
was.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like she enters because he knows who she is. He makes fun about Jay's first wife because he knows who she is. He makes fun of Starfleet because he knows who she is. And then he gives her the drug because he knows who she is.
And
you know?
he's probably been tracking all the drugs that she's been buying and not taking to keep her cover. Like, I think it actually works really well. And again, read second self. I have nothing to say. You guys killed that. I love this scene. I actually I loved Worf's entry, but I knew it was Worf before I knew it was Worf, because I put shit together before I even watched it. I put shit together in the trailers. It was very obvious that Worf was going to be her handler. So Sneed and the Ferengi and his bullshit was like much more fun and exciting. Worf decapitating him was equally as awesome. But there's a question that the chat is just like hopping. I'm gonna try and find Haven's question.
Wow,
Yes,
there's
question.
30 people in this chat.
I know,
That's
it's crazy.
It's a lot.
Question in theory: do you think that Worf was already on the planet? My theory was that he was there to protect Rafi from relapsing from her drug addiction. I'm gonna say I think he was there. I don't think it was because he was worried about her relapse, and I think he was just there because that's what handlers do. They always say they're not close or not around, but they're just always right around the corner.
There's one thing though that we didn't speak about. I do
Yes.
think that Sneed is fishing about Section 31.
Someone
I'm not
else
sure
said
he
that.
actually knows. I think it's
Possibly.
Michael Kwan who said that.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
I agree. I think he's fishing because everybody knows Section 31 and be like, you know? But I think it's maybe like more complicated. You imagine Worf working for Section 31?
Yes.
That's a weird thing.
No,
Mhm.
totally.
You do?
Given, totally. Given the right circumstance, absolutely.
One thing I'd like to mention, I would like to give a shout out for the makeup on Sneed, because it was so good.
So good.
So
Yep.
good.
Absolutely fantastic. Yep.
But regarding Worf working for Section 31, I mean, like his entire career was security, right?
Mhm.
So what would be the next platform to rise to, in that would be like,
And for the
Deep
sake
intelligence.
of continuing this theory, and we don't know if it's true, haven't gotten there, so we legitimately don't know. Let's say, for the sake of theory's sake, that Julian Bashir is behind Section 31 now. It's maybe a little bit of a reformed, better section that dress like, Julian's an asshole.
I do not, but I'm sorry, but I do not, but I would love to see Julian Bashir, like, absolutely. But I feel it's weird to imagine these characters in Section 31, like I don't know. And she's Starfleet intelligence too. It's written everywhere, Starfleet intelligence. I think there's like kind of like a CIA, NSA thing between Section 31 and Starfleet intelligence. I think there is a difference.
Yeah, no,
between the two.
Yes,
there
yes.
there absolutely is. There absolutely is. I like this point though. God, where this chat? Yeah, Kang says if Bashir is in charge of Section 31, I could see him talking Worf into joining. You could, like, they serve together.
Okay.
It's
But why would Julian Bashir be in Section 31?
Because they were trying to recruit him all throughout DS9.
I know, but he hated it.
Because I brought it up last week because I said I would give them all my money if he was.
You
and
did
I
bring it
don't
up last week, but they also bring it up in the
For me,
season 8 pitch. It works.
Section 31, and I know it's far in the Star Trek timeline, but it's not far for like the series timeline. But Section 31 has been depicted so terribly in Discovery that you'd expect Star Trek to keep the idea that they're kind of like bad guys and like putting like beloved characters in it. I don't see why Star Trek would do that. Except for like their Section 31.
But maybe this is where Giorgio is, and this is how they kick off the Section 31 show with Worf.
But the timeline
You have to remember too that Worf is starring in that upcoming Defiant comic. And is leading like a Black Ops team with like Lore and Spock, and it's insane. So he really could. I'm convinced that it's Section 31. I am.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I think Starfleet Intelligence and Section 31 are separate entities. I do agree with you. I think they are 100% separate entities, but sometimes separate entities do blur together and merge.
Synergy.
Yeah, exactly. Whew. That was a lot. I love Section 31. Speaking of Sneed, we are in trivia time. So real quick before we move on to the next parts of our show, last week we asked what Hellbird was at its purpose, and we got 2 entries to our question. So please do trivia because you win free shit, and free shit is awesome. We had 2 answers. I want to say congrats to Trexpert's Quiz's own Davey for winning week 1. But of course, the quiz guy, of course, Davey wins the week 1. He wins. I'll get it right here. One of these beauties.
Ooh,
right?
Shiny.
Nice.
He wins one of these, and
I want the one with Robert Picardo face.
Yes,
instead of
I'll print
everybody.
that one out for you right away. Promise.
The Picardo.
So he wins week 1's poster, and the correct answer was it was a computer virus that infected the Enterprise D, whilst Picard was Locutus. It randomly added a 3 to every navigational coordinate. Thank you for that, Davey. And Eric was supposed to read this week's trivia question, but I will go to draft because you haven't been here.
Oh God, I don't have to pick.
Oh, you don't have the outline. Okay.
No, I'm gonna find it. Like, give me a second. I didn't even know we were doing trivia. What is this?
We're doing trivia. We're doing trivia every week to give away 10 Star Trek Picard season 3 posters.
Steal for me. Steal the time for me. I don't find it. Where is it? Oh, I know where is it. No, it is. No, I do not know. But go ahead. Read
MC,
the trivia
you
question.
want to read the trivia, please?
What is the name of the drug Sneed made Rafi take? For a bonus prize this week, which would be a Picard Week 2 sticker, can you also tell us how Sneed described the drug's effects?
There it is.
Good question.
As always,
And Julian said the answer already.
I did. So you can just go back and listen to the pod and email us. It's not hard. I did. I'll even add if you get where all the references are from, which we've also talked about, I'll send 2 Picard Week stickers. You could DM us the answer on Discord. You can email us at our brand new email address, trivia@strangenewpod.com, or use the contact link on our website at strangenewpod.com. Davey, what'd you miss? You won trivia this week, buddy. I don't know if you saw last week what you're getting, but you're getting one of these bad boys. So congrats. Yeah. So let's move on to our final segment of the night, and that is Jack Crusher. Jean-Luc and Bev's long lost, not lost, but I don't even know what to call him. He's just their son. Yeah, estranged son. So time is winding down. Vadic is going to start blowing people up. And Jack attempts to escape because he doesn't want to get anybody killed. He's thwarted by Seven. Shaw's just done with all the bullshit aboard and is like, you know what? I'm just going to hand him over because I have to look out for my crew, which is, as we talked about at the top of the show, the most un-Starfleet thing to possibly do, but he's going to do it anyway. It takes Will, as Giraffe put it so eloquently in our chat earlier this week, it takes Will waking Bev up to tell Jean-Luc what he was trying to tell him all episode. And takes just a look between Bev and Jean-Luc. Jack is Jean-Luc's son. Picard briefly takes command and orders the Titan to run, but not before firing photon torpedoes for good measure. Not that they're going to do anything. What did we think about this revelation? What did we think about the scene between Bev and Jean-Luc Hawk?
So I think Will wasn't trying to tell Picard. Picard already knew in his heart of hearts who this kid was. He was basically, that was Riker telling us, the audience, and that it's like, you know who it is. Come on. It's like, I think we know for a while. But we got that confirmation of that. So this is Jean-Luc's son. I mean, it's like in the final season of Picard and that, they kind of gave him the one thing and that has always been missing from his life, right? It was family and someone who continues on, like, I don't know about the name, but, at least some sort of a legacy, right? So I have mixed feelings about it. I like Jack, I always thought he looked a little like the actor. I always thought he was cast to look a lot like Jack Crusher in that, from that one holodeck image we saw.
He does look like Jack.
Yeah. So all in my head was like
opinions on that.
I know. All in my head was gene sequencing and somehow Beverly cloned him for some reason. I don't know why she would do that, but no, it's Jean-Luc's son. And it's like as I said, the missing piece in the tapestry of his life. As a child.
Wow.
We see what you did here.
Well done.
I'm cool with it. I can't wait to see what happens next episode with it. You're off.
Okay, so first of all, we know men. Like, when an ex-girlfriend show up and has a kid that doesn't have a father, every single dude is gonna do the math. This is like baby math, right? It's like, okay, so I add the years plus 9 months plus, like, come on.
Suddenly every man becomes a math expert.
Right? Everybody knows like every like fertility cycle. Suddenly everybody has like followed sex ed. Like, we know this. We've been new. Like, come on. So it was like so long. It took like a full episode. I was like, oh, come on. Like, we saw you do the math. Come on, So the thing is like the incredible flex to have a kid with a dude and naming that kid from your ex-husband. I'm like, Quinn. Like, that's such an absolute fuck you. I'm like, I want to know what happened.
Not gonna have to wait long.
That is so cool. Bev,
wow,
my girl, that is so absolutely cold. Like, I'm like, if it's his son, like, for real, and she does that, so I'm starting like having like plots in my head. I'm like, what happened that Eve didn't know about the kid but did like hook up with her? So did he know she was pregnant? And then, so that's my very dark theory that is most probably not true, but that's how, like, what I like. I was saying that to MC and she was like, oh, that'd be a good story, but
just
that's very dark.
remember Will said it at the top of the episode. She didn't just cut Jean-Luc out. She cut all of them out. Every single one of them.
My theory is that, Jean-Luc has always been like, oh, I cannot have a kid, like, Starfleet, blah, 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 blah. So she was pregnant. He knew it. They had a deal that she would not be pregnant, and then she had the kid.
Okay.
Because she didn't want anybody to know. I don't know. Or maybe, it's an... I have so many theories after Nemesis and stuff like that. And all the DNA thing at the end. Oh, Bev, what did you do? But like, we all know that Jean-Luc fucked up because he must have fucked up like in epic proportions, like epically. I don't think anybody would ever like manage to piss me off so bad that I would ever do something like that. This is so insane. But that scene was too long. Like, it was all too long. I'm gonna drag her out of the bio bed. By the way, she has like makeup on, like perfect hair. Like, I wake up from
Bev's
like
always
8-hour
looking
sleep
good.
and
Come
I look
on.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's blazing
and like, she
Bev.
got shot. She got put in a bio bed and she wakes up like,
It's television.
Hello?
It's television.
television.
Come on.
No dog,
It's
like, no-
television.
No bags under the eyes, nothing, not one air. She's magical. Like she's magical.
She's Beverly
and
Crusher.
she comes in like
Yeah.
holding herself after being freaking kidnapped from the med bay by Will Riker that she has not seen for 25 years. Everybody's chill. There's no conversation. And she comes in, she looks at him, and she's like, "Here's my son." And I was like, get out of here. Like, first of all, I have to say that right now. It's been 2 episodes of Picard that do not pass the fucking Bechdel test. Can we solve this? This is 2023. She didn't even have a line. God
I'm fine
damn
with her
it.
not having a line. I think
No,
that-
but I'm not fine for having like perpetually women talking to men.
No.
about
I agree with you on the
men all
Bechdel. I agree with you on
time.
the Bechdel test. I don't agree
Like-
specifically about the end part, but I agree
Even
that like
TOS
yeah,
broke
no,
the
I agree.
Bechdel test like for 5 seconds.
that I agree with.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I'm just like, oh. So when she came in and she said nothing, I was like, okay, out of
What
here.
was there to say?
No, yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was just like Will Riker was like hinting to it. He didn't need to
Yeah.
bring her out. Like she's bleeding out. Like come on, leave
Well,
the woman alone.
Did
Like-
Riker bring her out, or did she decide that she wanted to go out?
Oh, she totally
No,
decided.
he wakes her up.
Yeah, but she
Yeah,
could have been
he
like,
takes the drug against the doctor's order, and they're
Yeah.
like, is she stable? And they're like, she needs to rest. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. My pal needs to know that he has a kid.
Yeah, no,
Even if he's a golem. Come on.
I saw it. I know that he woke her up and everything, but I'm pretty sure Bev said I've got to confront him on this.
Yep.
He
Like
didn't say anything.
I know,
He has no lines.
Giraffe. You know I agree with you about 95% of this. Can you please let me just like disagree with you on like one thing?
go ahead, keep going, MC.
I mean, honestly, yeah, a lot of what Giraffe said. Like, I had such bad blue balls throughout this entire episode because I was just like it's like we all knew at the end of the last episode that this was Jean-Luc's kid, and the fact that it was basically the entire episode was building up to this revelation, and I'm like, yeah, we already knew this, and it's just. We have so much stuff to put in that I would have liked if they had like figured out something a bit more exciting to do than just keep on running around to this one point. So because I mean, like Riker was not being subtle, and like, yeah, he is putting that in for the audience, but does the audience really need that? No, because we all know it already.
No, but I also think in that situation, Will is like trying to be like, dude, like I barely ever disagree with you, but like you need to fucking listen to me. And he's
Yeah.
at that point, he's like, fuck, if you're not gonna listen to me, like your
Julian.
baby mama's gonna just give you a look and tell you, because obviously
Julian,
yeah, go ahead.
if your pal, if you realize that full grown 30-year-old adult or whatever is your like best friend's son, and your best friend's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You'd be like, dude, this
Yeah.
is your kid.
Oh,
Like,
no,
you
of
wouldn't be
cour's
like,
I
I'm
would,
gonna
but of
drag
course
the woman out of the med bay so
Anybody's
she
going
can
to
look
be
at
in
you
denial in that
through the bridge
situation.
while
Anybody's
you
going to
take
be in
getting
denial in
shot
that
at.
situation. Anybody's going
Yeah.
to be in denial in that situation, though.
Except he was not in denial, because like he had that whole scene where he's just like sitting in front of the brig where he's like, who is your father? And it's just like
Yeah.
so
That's
it's
true.
yeah, it was a little bit awkward. And also as Giraffe did point out, brigs are the absolute, like she pointed this out to me privately, brigs are the absolute worst place to put anybody because they just do not work in Star Trek.
No, they always escape. It's true.
Yeah.
Like literally, the brig appeared.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's gonna break out.
Like,
He's gonna get
pat the
out. And then he broke out, and I was like,
I just went through the airport. I got patted down. You don't pat down a guy before he goes into the brig for something that will make it not
The
work.
transporter's supposed to take away all the contraband. It didn't work either. You're
this
right.
is ridiculous. Anyway, I thought that scene was super long. I don't know. I know it. Listen, I know they wanted it to be epic and like a heartfelt moment, but I was just like, you're getting shot at.
But they weren't getting shot at.
Die.
Yeah.
You're gonna
I would
all get
also
thrown up.
yeah. This also seems like a good time to bring up one of my worries about this season so far, based on episode 1 and 2. I'm having some concerns about the Wrath of Khan-ness of this all. Now I know they're trying to evoke the movies, but it does seem like there's just so much specifically to Wrath of Khan, and even a little bit into Darkness, which, let's face it, is Wrath of Khan. And just like you have like the opening shot in the first episode where it's like the title in the 25th century, and this whole thing, Bev is Carol Marcus, like just flat out, like she's the ex-lover with the long lost child, and she's gonna be doing something mysterious, like, because we know Vadic's gonna be after her for something that she's doing. So I'm sure there's gonna be some sort of medical genesis-y device thing that probably has to do with all the genetic stuff that's in the end credits. And I've been burned before with Wrath of Khan being brought into other things.
I don't see what you're talking about. Absolutely not.
So the fact that they're bringing in not just kind of plot points but imagery from it is something that I'm not mad at it, but I'm just kind of like, I've got an eye on it. Yeah. Just like, what are you planning with this?
In the chat, the question that is going on is like, does Jack know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%. Yep. 100%.
I'm actually pretty certain the reason why he's got a French accent is because he's been listening to Picard's logs. Because we saw it in the first episode.
French accent.
English accent.
I was quotation marks.
Like the Mon Ami was like,
yeah, it's the 24th century version of the French accent, which is Picard's. Right. I think he picked that up from listening to Picard's captain's logs, because we saw them playing on the ship. So I think he listened to those, which is totally how accents work, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start by reading Carolyn's comment here. I'm disappointed that right at the very end of Picard's life, they're like, he needs romance and a son to be fulfilled. Not a fan. However, loved the moment between the two of them. To which I'll say, I think that this is the absolute perfect culmination of their extremely fucked up courtship that has been going on for 30 plus years, on again, off again, never happened, maybe happened, we don't know. It was always maybe like not on camera, but it probably did happen. This is
made her a mixtape.
So obviously it fucking happened. I love this for a variety of reasons. It just, I actually DM'd this to Terry Maddles. I was like, I think this is the where this would have ended up. It's almost a la continuation of what happened with them in All Good Things. No matter what happens with them, they always end up not together, even if they were together. And I think that's fucking perfect. Regarding the whole, well, maybe like he should have just listened to Will. The dude doesn't want to hear it from Will. He wants to hear from Beverly. And that scene when she walks onto the bridge and they just look at each other is just beautiful acting. It really is, because they've been doing that same look to each other for 30 plus years in many episodes of TNG. They've always talked to each other, sometimes without talking to each other. This wasn't just like they wrote this moment like that for dramatic effect. It's what's happened in TNG. And I thought it was so beautiful and so absolutely perfect. Is the line where he says, like, belay that, and why? Like, I was like, why are you doing this? And it's because he's my son. A little bit cheesy. Yeah. But I also like that too, just because he's like, okay, he's my son. I've only known him for a minute, but he's my blood. I'm going to protect him. And I'm absolutely here for it. And I loved every minute of it. Hawk,
did you notice how it kickstarted him? Like,
he went into full Captain Picard mode.
It was that great line in that from Shaw, and that after the communicate with Vadic over at the ship, and he Picard says nothing. He's like, great standing up.
Yeah, great standing up. Yeah.
The thing that's good is that he wanted to protect him even before.
He did.
Like,
it's instinct, because he knew before. He did know.
Can we just speak a little bit about like justice? because he has no problem letting Wesley Crusher get murdered by the Thong people on the
Someone's-
murder planet for the
Yeah, I
flower,
get
right? But like, he's no, we're not gonna give him up. I was telling that to MZ when we were watching it. I was like,
Yeah.
what's that weird episode with like the guys with like the weird thong thing that
Yeah,
like
I think
kill
yeah.
you?
it's Justice or something.
It's
Step on it.
Justice, yeah.
Yeah.
Step on a flower. So I'm like, I'd be mad.
The other thing I'll say is that Stress 3K is absolutely right in the chat. Picard can't commit to women because he feels the need to put his command first. It has always been the Stargazer. It has always been the Enterprise. It has always been Starfleet. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that he can't. Maybe he just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's fine.
But I
Again,
think
like,
if he was ever going to settle down, it was always going to be with Bev, and that didn't even work.
Yeah.
well, that's not nice for Laris.
I was actually just going to bring Laris up because I'm feeling even, I kind of knew that this was where it was going to go, but now I'm a bit more frustrated retroactively at season 2 that we spent so much time, with this whole Laris plot. And they kind of dismissed that in episode 1. And now we're going to be getting into this setting up Jean-Luc's legacy through his son with Bev. And I don't think Laris is going to come back up. And
Justice
so
for Jaban. Justice for Jaban.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
got murdered so they could like have a romantic plot between Laris and Picard to go nowhere.
yeah,
Kang
Justice for my
writes,
man.
do they kill Bev so Picard can go off to be with Laris?
absolutely not.
Nope, not
No.
nope,
Not. They're
never.
gonna kill Laris.
I'm gonna
if they
tell
do
you.
anything.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I don't know, so I'm not spoiling anything. I have no fucking clue, but this is just my instinct. Terry said, "Oh well, no one's safe." Guess what? Everybody's fucking safe. You think they're gonna fucking take a risk and kill a legacy character? Mm-mm.
People talk about like Michael's plot armor. I'm like, I'm sorry, her
Yeah.
plot armor has nothing on,
On
like
TNG,
everybody
yeah,
TNG.
exactly. Yeah,
Like, come on.
yeah. No,
I'm
one.
actually pretty sure if they're going to kill anybody, it's going to be Picard, which I know they already did in season 1. But I mean, you introduce the long lost kid.
Yep.
His story might be over.
Yep. Any final thoughts before we get into our Easter egg hunt? Good. Everybody good? Final thoughts?
Yep.
Good. Easter eggs, Giraffe. Give me all the Easter eggs because I already said all of them for you anyway, but I want you to read them again.
Okay. Wait, I need to read the one on the outline.
No, there's none
Oh,
on
mine.
the outline. Yours.
Mine. Okay. What do I have? Well, the Mariposa, we talked about it. The Helios vessel, it's not really an Easter egg, but it's a cool thing. In Greek, it means compassion.
Nice.
So I thought it
Mhm.
was a cool like name. I don't know if you already like said that, but whatever. Mon ami. It's a reference to Q, I
Q.
suppose. There are like 2 references to like old movies from the 40s, and I don't know what to do with it. Like The Marked Woman and Operation Daybreak are like 2 old movies, so I don't know. Like I don't have the Savick Shuttle.
Mhm.
Oh, I just laughed at the fact when he said like the Titan was an exploratory vessel. I was like, dude, your exploratory vessel
Seriously.
is packing. Okay.
Yeah.
Sneed is a known associate of Morn of Luria and Thadium Okona. So that was cool.
Quark and Brunt as well.
What?
Quark and Brunt are listed
Oh
on there.
yeah.
Nice.
That was on like the thing. What did I? Oh, the unknown. What did I write? Oh, James Cole was one of the aliases from.
I was gonna
of,
take
Jack
that
Crusher.
one because that's the one I found.
I didn't have the Splinter Drug. That's
Oh,
the
you
one I
didn't have that
didn't
one?
have. No, I
Oh.
didn't realize.
You're getting
it.
the
I,
answer to the trivia again, folks.
Yeah, he went to Binar, which is like the house, the
Mhm.
planet of the Binars.
Mhm.
The Sluggo,
Baseball
the baseball thing, yes.
might have been Cisco's baseball.
And then I wrote good old Klingon on Romulan violence. Oh, and I look up one thing. There's one moment where you speak about like a person being like a falsetti, which is like a race of like aliens that like go on.
Mhm.
So I look it up. I was like, what is that? I don't remember these aliens at all. And apparently it's the name of an assistant.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
Nicole Falsetti, apparently. So that's, I think, all I have.
I have one other than that, and that's that Worf is still wearing the sigil for the House of Martok.
Sure is.
Oh,
Yep. Hawk, any
Hawk?
Easter eggs?
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Giraffe got them all. I
She
was
did.
like, oh, did you guys know
Yeah.
it's the baseball? And it's like, yeah, she already got that.
I like this isn't a an in-show Easter egg, but I do love that Todd Stashwick like immediately this morning was like he posted a GIF of Sneed and he goes, "Oh look, it's Time Jesus again," referring to his role in 12 Monkeys, because that was that was James Cole.
So there were like 3 references.
There were 3
So-
12 Monkeys references in this episode. Yeah.
I urge you all to watch Star Trek Picard with Vulcan lovers, because when Giraffe and I were watching and the Savick shuttle came up, we were just like, that said Savick on it. We have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, I sent Julian the Picard gif where he's like, oh!
Yeah, you were like, what the fuck are they doing? Let's rate this one
We should
out.
have the USS Savick, by the way. That's why I'm mad. It's not the name
Yeah.
for the
Isn't there
shuttle.
there
That
is a
should be
USS
Savick.
Savick?
I think there is.
There is
yeah.
a USS Savick. There is
It's
a USS
weird to have
Savick.
like the shuttle named after a person.
I think they do it with everybody. I think there's probably a Kirk shuttle too. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, there was a Stamets
Yeah,
shuttle.
exactly.
in-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they named
was
them
it?
after intellectual figures, right?
Was it? No, because like Yosemite and Sequoia are not.
I think it depends on what type,
Ship
like
and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
the Cali class gets all
Well,
named
and
after.
think about it. Savick was a scientist, and the Titan is a science vessel
Mm,
An
Mm.
exploratory vessel
with
a
mad
lot of
photon
guns.
torpedoes.
yeah.
Let's rate this one out of 10 crates of phaser rifles. We will go in reverse order. MC, your rating tonight.
I'm gonna go 8.
Nice.
I enjoyed it, but was my favorite.
Yep. Haven on board, man. There's no USS Savick apparently.
See,
I'm wrong.
so I have legitimacy to
You
be
do.
mad.
It's true. Go ahead, Draft. Your rating.
I'm gonna give it 7.5. Love the episode, but no to TV with women being in this position. This is not okay. I can't. It would have been an 8.5. I take a point out
Fair.
for this. So let's see episode 3. I hope it's gonna be again. I know we should watch it as like one big movie, so I will give the point back next week.
Fair.
Mhm.
Fair. Hawk.
I'm good with giving this a 9 because it really hit all the markers for me after last week's episode, and it's a continuation of that. Had its problems and that, but nothing that really took me out of it. So 9.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I want to answer something in the chat, but
Yeah,
go
go
ahead
ahead.
first.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So Matt Harker is saying about like the credits. Did you look through the Easter eggs at the credit last week or not?
No, I'm letting people discover the credit Easter eggs for themselves
Mhm.
because
Okay.
they're so. I'm not going to talk about anything in the credits because there's Easter eggs in the credits about things that are going to happen in the next 4 episodes.
Okay, but I've not seen the other.
I know that, and that's why I'm not
Mhm.
saying anything about those Easter eggs in the chat. That I want people because they're not spoilers because if you figure them out, they're in the credits. But I want people to
So-
figure those out for themselves.
Oh, okay. So we don't speak about it.
We're not going to speak about them.
Okay.
I'm going to give this one.
Can I answer in the chat though?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna give this one a 9. Yeah, because I said to Eric, I think, and Hawk earlier that the first 6 are all 9s and 10s, and I'm gonna be sticking with that. This is a 9. This is a great episode. I loved it. Definitely a couple issues. I hated Jay. That's
Fuck
a big
Jay.
Jay. Over in the chat, Maggie Lake gives it a 9. Carolyn gives it an 8. Haven an 8.5. Kang an 8. Michael Kwan not writing on an 0 to 10 scale, just saying this episode hit as hard as being hit by a starship thrown at you. I love that. Stress Free K 8.5. The first season of Disco was more exciting for me. Okay. Wayner 9. I wanted more Bev. Just pump her full of stimulants. I like
on.
it. Give us more blazing Bev. Matt Harker, I'd say a 9. All good ratings. With that, it is time to get to the Subspace to poll and mailbag.
Comms, get me the dock master. Control tower reading, Commander.
Who wants to take the poll this week? Who wants to draft? Hit it.
Okay, Subspace T-Poll. I've not read it for so long. I'm
I
happy.
know. You actually have the outline out. It's a miracle.
Yeah, because I get the outline out at the moment I know we're gonna read the things. But I was confused about the trivia. I didn't know like we had something to read in the middle of it. So now I know. Now I know. We asked Trek Twitter what they thought of episode 302, Disengage. And this is what they had to say. 66% said, keep talking. 66% said, keep taking all my Latinum. 31% said, Worftastic. It's so hard to say, Julian. Worftastic.
You're the one who wanted to read
offered,
the poll.
yeah.
3% said, splinter me away. That's kind of sexy.
Right?
Mm.
And that's kind of like,
Just like
Kind of
James and
good.
Cassie.
kind of good.
Mm.
And 0% said, piece of Shrike.
It's the first time ever.
Yeah, really.
People love
Yeah.
this episode.
Mm.
It's
It is
awesome.
good.
I love it. You did that, so we'll keep. I think that means we're at the top. No, we're at
MC. No,
MC.
MC.
MC, could you take Captain Idle's mailbag, please?
Captain Idle wrote, Worf decapitated a Ferengi. All is right.
So true. So true. So true. Hawks with Chris's, please.
Chris wrote, "What a ridiculously fun villain. The prosthetics on that Ferengi were
Liddy.
Liddy?
Like
Liddy?
lit.
Liddy?
Like lit.
Oh,
They were lit.
okay.
They were
Cool.
lit. Just say lit.
Cool new young lingo. Nice. Straight fire from the photon torpedoes. Seeing Shaw get cut down, then acquiesce really intrigued me into his whole mental state and really points towards his overcompensation. The Klingon was Nito Burrito.
It's another young lingo.
Yeah, apparently. I thought Nito Burrito was very 90s, but that's I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, yes. Michael Kwan wrote, I have to say, each episode is building anticipation for me. Vadic is rivaling Khan for witty comms exchange and menace. I'm looking forward to learning more. Favorite line from this episode? They threw a ship at us. I fucking love Sidney LaForge so much. I was talking with Jesco. There's like such 10D energy. I love her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. They threw a ship at us as a gift that I can put up every time I develop a new OTP.
It's unfortunate because she doesn't say it in frame. I don't think she
Yeah.
does. I have to go back and look.
The other thing is like I'm kind of worried of like all these like one-liner that they're putting like just for GIF. Like it's very fun, but please do not become Wednesday.
Stop it. Let them have fun. Let them have fun.
I don't like when the thing is written to be a meme. That's
like
a big
memes.
difference.
I like
Like
memes.
if like something happens to become a meme, it's great. But like
Organically,
we see a
right?
lot of things
Mhm.
that like now are written to be memes. And
Yeah.
All right. NY Railite wrote, I enjoyed last week's episode more, but thank you very much seeing Worf in thank you very much for seeing Worf in action. Hopefully this will calm the fans who became ridiculously outraged at Worf mentioning in the trailer that he prefers pacifism right now. Speak softly, but carry a very sharp curl F.
Agreed. You could be a pacifist, still kill people.
Damn right.
Damn
The
right.
Romulans,
Yeah, exactly. Dead Romulans.
they did something wrong at one point
yeah,
or another. It's
exactly.
fine.
Mhm.
Back to you, MC.
Haven wrote, I was shocked at the Jack Crusher reveal to be JL's son. No, I did expect it in episode 2, not at all. Shaw didn't make me want to rage at him as bad as last week, although I still do not like Shaw. Same.
Love him.
I feel like this was a slower episode to me compared to the Blink and You'll Miss It episode that was last week. I have never wanted a full season drop more than I do now.
Agreed.
I agree.
Yep, agreed. Hawk with Cassie's, please.
Cassie wrote, this is my first 10 out of 10 episode for Picard. Great villain introduction? Check. Dramatic and bitchy captain continues to be bitchy and dramatic? Check. Great dialogue and delivery for Will? Riker? Check. Jack Crusher showing mad charisma? Check. Amazing Ferengi prosthetics? Check. Worf murdering everyone in his way? Check. Julian, you are the real MVP for convincing me to give this season a chance. It hasn't disappointed yet.
Oh, thank you, Cassie. You rock. Jesco, at 11 minutes, I leapt out of my seat because lobes.
Okay, just to say, like when we watched the episode, and
Yeah,
then
it was just
you
like,
showed
oh my
up, we're like,
God,
oh my
Jessica's
God,
gonna love
Jessica's
this.
gonna lose her
Me
mind.
too. All of us. just thought of Jessica because she rocks. At 37 minutes, I sat back down because Loeb's on the floor. Was fantastic seeing a modern take on the TNG era Ferengi makeup, prison tattoos and all. I imagine Nagus Rom kicked this loser out of the Alliance. Oh, and the episode was fabulous. Somehow Shaw actually makes really good points, and I adore the captain of the Shrike. She is wild. Cannot wait for episode 3. Take us home, Giraffe with Collins, please.
Colleen wrote, considering the quality of the mailbag entry so far, little more need be said, except for this. Knowing of Jack's parentage was more confirmation than a revelation. Seeing the acting that went into that scene, perfection. I am a lifelong fan of top-notch acting performances. That one, with not a word spoken, was exquisite and sublime. I instantly knew I would rank amongst my all-time favorites. I'm not a fan of villains, but Amanda Plummer is damn good. 9.5 out of 10.
Bravo. All very good mailbags. Thank you, as always, to everyone for their contributions. Y'all rock. That is going to do it for this one. Episode 3 is coming, fast approaching, just a week out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to say this because I feel like if I magic it into existence, it'll finally happen. We are working tirelessly to book a very special guest. It might happen next week. It might happen another week. It's just scheduling is a bitch sometimes with all the amazing people that help put the show on. But we are working on a special guest. It is going to happen. It just is a matter of when. Stay tuned for an announcement on that. Other than that, I will say see you next week. For Giraffe, for MC, for Hawk, I am Julian. Live long and prosper, Majram, and I bid you good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.